people know Eos is a place to come and party with all clubs, and there are clubs on the beach. But there's so much more to Eos than just the party scene. So in this video, I'm going to show you all the things that you can do that are not partying related in Eos, Greece. Right off the main square in the Hora, or main village of Eos, is an archaeological museum. It has finds from all over the island located inside. Unfortunately, you can't take photographs or film inside, so I'm just showing you where it's at, but it is definitely worth a visit. It's very small. At the most, it'll take you about 30 minutes. This is the main square in Hora. At night, you'll see lots of families gathered here, chatting, and kids are riding their bikes and playing. So if you really want to see what Greek village life is like, this is a good spot to come and watch that happen. This church dominates the square as you look at it. It is Evangelismos, it's the cathedral of Eos, and then there are two smaller churches right underneath it. This one right here, and then this cute little one right here. So they say that there is 365 churches on the island of Eos, one for every day of the week. It might take you a year to find them all, actually. Some of them are large and some of them are very, very small. The Hora is a great place to walk and kind of get lost in the alleyways and to take all of your pictures of the beautiful Greece, classic Greek photos that you would want to see of the door, bougainvillea, and all the beautiful Cycladic architecture that you find here. I love it. I can just wander through here for hours. On the back side of the cathedral is a really cute little square with a cafe in it. The bank is also here, one of the banks. It's a great spot if you want to come have a nice lunch in the square in a traditional village. There's also lots of shopping here up in the Hora and Eos. If you want to take home a souvenir that you can wear, it's a good spot. It's another day of exploring. It has gotten very hot, so I'm wearing my dorky hat and all the sunscreen. But today I'm at Skorkas in Eos. It is one of the oldest prehistoric settlements in the Cyclades that they have ever found. It dates to about the 3 millennium BC, and it was very well preserved. And I've always wanted to come here. I never have before, so let's go. All right, I'm inside, and you can see the harbor from this small hill. What I think is interesting is they chose to do it here in this sort of valley and not up on one of the higher hills. And a lot of the islands, the prehistoric settlements, are up on a hill for protection. So I think part of the reason for that is that the harbor is very protected. You can see the entrance is slightly hidden. I actually heard of a ferry one year. They missed the turn because they'd only done it once before, and they missed it, and then you got stuck on some rocks and everybody had to be evacuated off the ferry. So Skorkas was excavated for a long period of time, and from the gentleman that I ran into inside, it looks like they're still working on it. So they first found the site in 1984 and have been working on it ever since. It's hard to imagine, but some of these are actually houses and buildings right here. And they think some of them actually would have been 2 stories tall. So no small feat to build a building out of stone. Lots and lots of stone. It's not a very big site, so you probably only need 30 to 45 minutes here. You're not really allowed to go inside the excavation area for obvious reasons, and there are just 3 signs for you to come and look at. There is a small room down next to the ticket office that has information in it that you can read before you come up. It's also a nice place to stop and get a little cool before you come out into the heat. So you kind of get a little bit of a better idea of the little house area. It's very cool. Apparently where I'm standing now would have been a square. And then just streets. Obviously walking the streets. I was telling you about how there are 365 or more churches on the island of Ios. And one of the big ones is out at the entrance to the port. I believe it's called Irini, and it's got a great view of the island and of the lighthouse across the way, and it's a good spot to sit and watch the ferries come in if you want to do that. Can you tell I'm a little bit obsessed? The other thing is right before the church, and I'll show you, there's a path that takes you to a beach that you can only get to either by walking there or by boat. You cannot get to it by car or bus, and it's a really great place to swim. It's got nice deep water and it's cool, and again you can see the ferries come in. But it's a really nice spot. So I'll show you how to start the hike, and then you just follow the path along. So to get up from the church, you're going to walk around the edge of the port and come up this really cute little walkway, and then come up through here. And the view just gets better and better the further you go up, as you can see. This is the start to the path to the hike to the beach. I know it doesn't look like much, but you go up and behind the church and it's there. Probably take you about 20 minutes walking, maybe a little longer coming back, because you do have to hike up a little bit of a hill. Nothing strenuous. It's an easy hike. Just wear, hiking, sneakers or, some sort of hiking sandal. Do not wear your flip-flops. It's kind of loose gravel, so that's my recommendation. Now let's go look at the church. And this is the view. This is the beautiful church. Usually I've never been here and it's been open. I do know that there have been weddings here when I've been here. So I guess it's just catching it on a good day. Now Monday is a Greek religious holiday, so I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen at some of the churches in town. But look at this. Just stunning. Thing that you can see from this church is the lighthouse, which is way over there. It's a good spot for that. You can hike to the lighthouse, however it is a long walk from the road to the lighthouse. I haven't done it myself. I'm really hoping to do it. It just depends on how hot it gets here this summer to see if I actually do it. Down on the Milopotos beach, one of the nicest beaches here. Obviously there are lots of them, but it's also one of the longer beaches. It's a little bit more windy than it normally is, so that's why the waves are so high. Normally the waves aren't like this high. But I really like this beach because of the sand, and I also like it because it's deep enough to swim. So we're here at Diaseli Cheese Factory, and they have this beautiful traditional looking Cycladic house set up for, actually we're going to have our cheese tasting in here. As you can see, it's before everything became whitewashed. And actually she was telling us that this column here is an ancient piece from a temple that dates back to the 3rd millennium BC. And this pot here is 300 to 400 years old. They've actually had an archaeologist come out and date everything for them. Obviously, this traditional house did not have running water, but they're using this for their tours. And they've told us all about how they're making cheese. And it's, I don't know, it's stunning. It's one of the coolest things I've seen here in some of the cyclades. And here's the other side. So what I thought was really cool is they found a cave here, and they found this stone, and this stone is where the forms after the cheese is the first round gets molded. These are the molds, and as the water would run out, it would come down this channel and into the bucket. So she says that other than adding pasteurization, they now make the cheese exactly as they did originally. So it was really lovely. And now we're about to have the cheese tasting part. So we also have some local homemade wine and honey, probably also local. And the pottery, she told us, is from a man in Sifnos. And here's the little pitcher. I thought after yesterday's visit to the cheesery, where they did talk about them coming to use the windmills in town to grind their wheat, I thought I would come and show them to you, because not only are they still here, but I wanted to tell you that it takes 20 minutes by car to get to the cheesery. So if you can imagine, 20 minutes by car is a lot longer when you're walking or taking a donkey. As you can see, it's quite windy, sorry. So let me show you the windmills that are here in Hora. So we have one that's pretty much intact. Probably needs to have its roof replaced, but it kind of gives you an idea of what they looked like. And then we have a few more that are a little run down, but still pretty impressive. If you think about it, they built these with no electricity, all by hand, probably with the help of donkeys, which is what they use a lot here on the Greek islands to get things done, or they used to. You still see them occasionally, but they're less and less used. And I asked them why the windmills were placed here and not closer to some of the other smaller villages, and they said that this is one of the windiest places on the island, and that's why. And I can attest to that this morning because my hair, I can't even see the screen. But it's a beautiful spot, and it's so hot now that the wind feels really great. One of the other things that is good to do here in Hora is to climb to the top of the hill there and go see those little churches. I promise it's not so hard. Even I've done it successfully. It's also a really great place to watch the sunset. And you can also see most of the island, so if you wanted to do it during the day or in the early morning when it's not so hot, it's a good thing to do. You can see the ferries come in from up there, and you can see very far off and see many of the other islands. You can see Skorkas, and then if you turn around and face the other direction, you can see the rest of Ios. It's also a good place to watch the sunrise. You just need to face this direction. So if you're going to go for sunset, face the front of the church, and if you're going to go for sunrise, face the back. All right, tonight we are at the Ios Winery, and they make 3 different varieties, and we're going to have a tasting. We're going to have a tour. And I just have to show you the view of the location of the winery because it's stunning. So the sun is setting, but you can see some of the vineyards there. And then as you walk up the hill, you can see into the harbor. It's a fabulous location. And I've tried the white wines from here, and they're amazing. The Ios Winery has 3 whites and 1 red. They are all excellent and definitely worth giving them all a try. And they're available both in the supermarkets here and in many of the restaurants. Now take your Ios wine and go find a sunset. There are tons of great spots to watch it all around the island. Here at the Leo Stasi Hotel is an excellent choice. The other thing I would recommend is that you stay for about 30 minutes after the sunset, because then you get these beautiful colors on the horizon. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this tour of Ios, and I'll see you guys in the next video.